was home a few days, and I noticed that I was having a much harder time talking, and I could only swallow liquids. I couldn't have solid food. And I was noticing that the part where they had taken out a piece of the hip from the bone from my hip, that had developed this major rash that was now basically covering me from just below my chest to the upper portions of my leg and spreading. I had developed 104 temperature, I was sweating profusely, and my throat was closing rapidly. In learning that that what I had, that I was to find out that I had, I was rushed to the hospital, and while waiting in the in a room outside the operating room, something weird happened to me. What I had learned was that I had contracted what is known as necromancing fasciitis, or strep A, or another name for it is the flesh-eating disease. And it was in my bone. And it was going through my skeletal system, through my body rapidly. And that if it wasn't addressed very soon, I would no longer be around. So I was sitting in this room outside the operating room, and they were preparing me to go in and clean this and address it. At that particular time, some operation was just finishing up, and as that was happening, and I was sitting in this room, I'll call him a kid. I mean, they're making these doctors younger and younger. It's like the police that I see. I'm sitting there saying, wait a minute, didn't I have you in first grade? It's kind of like, they're getting younger and younger. So I'm thinking more like Doogie Howser, because this kid is standing in front of me in scrubs. And I'm saying to myself, hey, this kid is going to come in here and operate on me? I don't think so. I don't feel too comfortable with this. So I, being basically a wise guy, I grew up that way. I looked at the kid and I said, hey kid, does your mother know you're coming in here skipping school to play doctor? And he looked at me kind of disgustingly, and he just turned around, didn't even answer me. I went to say something else to the kid, and the next thing I know, my throat is closed. So now, it got real interesting. I can't tell you how bad the pain is, but it's the worst pain I've ever experienced, because your whole body is screaming for oxygen, and it can't find it. You feel it in your fingers, in your toes, and it feels like you're being electrocuted. It's just horrible, horrible, horrible pain. And I'm flopping, and the next thing I know, everything goes black. Next thing I know, everything is wonderful again. I'm not in pain and whatever, but the problem is I'm up on the ceiling. And I'm looking down, and I see my body. And I'm saying to myself, wait a minute, something's wrong here, because how can I be up here when my body is down there? And, I think something went really wrong, and how do I get back in there? Now, this is all going on as I sort of figured that maybe this guy over here, the doctor, can help me out. I stopped for a second to realize, wait a minute, I gotta be dead. This is what it means to be dead, and I'm still hanging around here. This is amazing. So now I said, all right, let me try to get his attention. I tried to move, and you can move just fine, just like floating through the air. And I went, and I'm trying to tap the guy on the shoulder. Hey, buddy, turn around. Hey, I'm over here. Haven't you seen what's happened over here? And this is what I'm thinking. But my hand's going right to him. So now I'm saying, wow, this is really weird. And about a little bit after that time, the guy finally turns around, the doctor finally turns around, sees that I'm dead, and, oh my, hits the panic button. Doctors and nurses are coming out of the woodwork, and they're all circling me. Now, I'm in my vantage point up here in the ceiling, and I'm watching, and I'm watching everything that they're doing, who they are, where they're standing, what kind of a scully cap they had on, because they all had different ones on. And I'm saying, man, this is unbelievable. I'm looking at what they're doing in my body. And they're trying the scopes, and that didn't work. And then somebody else pushed the other guy. It was a girl. And then a female doctor, she poked, and she tried nothing. They tried putting tubes up my nose, got a lot of blood, but nothing. Then they tried making these slices down my throat. There's about 18 of them right there to try to get a line in there to get me going. But, you know, there's scar tissue, there's the plate, the whole bit. And they weren't quite informed about that yet. So they weren't very successful there.